when you say you can run a truck race on Friday, a nationwide race on Saturday, and come back here and run 400 laps and lead this thing on Sunday, you are Superman in my book.
And chances are, if he could find a late model race to race tomorrow, he'd be there running it somewhere.
Probably will there.
Kyle Busch has now led this weekend almost 400 laps, over 400 laps total.
We're not going any faster. They're just going slower. I think his radio just come unplugged. Got me? Yep. Welcome back. Welcome to the party, huh, Rod? Yeah, the party's up there, not here. The lever's gone.
Got one on the right rear. Go back to the right rear. Get a lug nut. Get ready. Let the jack down. Go, 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 go.
Fight it off. It's okay. We'll get this back.
That's your Budweiser Radio remix as we're 74 laps to go at Dover International Speedway. JP Montoya back in the race, as is Jamie McMurray. Both Ganassi cars back running. And the front five looks just about like it did. Kyle Busch ahead of Jimmy Johnson as they both have been working a lot of race traffic. Matt Kenseth, the 2.5 back. Burton 1.7 off the lead, and David Rudiman 2.7 back.
You know, one of the things I never second guess Chad Knaus by any means, but the 18 has been working on his car every pit stop, trying to make it better, trying to make it better. I'm not sure if Chad and Jimmy maybe have been happy with their car and been afraid to adjust on it, but I think they can see now if they're going to get back up there and take the lead away, Miss 18, they may have to adjust on her one more time when they come to pit road.
Well, let's see who's quick. Let's have a look at speeds as they cross the line. Now those are lap speeds, not trap speeds at the start-finish line.
Well, on the clock, it's a 37 to a 48, 24-37 to a 48.
Harvick and Joey Logano up there at 147 miles an hour too.
Now, should we stay green, what we will see is one final green flag pit stop here at about 25 to 30 laps as we're seeing Casey Kane in the 9 car 3 laps down back on pit road.
And this is a very, very difficult pit road to get on under green.
Yeah, I think we've already seen that. It's a lot like the pit road at Darlington.
Exactly, Larry. Hard to get down and get on the pit road and not speed.
Kane was the outside pole sitter. So here's your leader. Your second leader, Kyle Busch. Second place, Jimmy Johnson. Toyota Chevrolet nose to tail. The first Ford in the race is Matt Kenseth, who came from 21st starting position and runs in 3rd. Jeff Burton having another chance to be in contention to win. He's come from 17th up to the 4th place. And David Rudiman began the day in 13th. He's within striking distance in the top 5.
Got a lead. Jimmy Johnson got a great run off turn 4 that time. Kyle got hung up behind the 78 car and opened the door for Jimmy to get there, but I don't believe he can make the pass on that 18 right now.
Just as we've seen all day long, Kyle Busch keeps that thing up about a groove on the exit of the corner, and he keeps her wound up. Now he brings it back to the bottom, pulls Jimmy Johnson in the 48 by about a car length.
Yeah, Regan Smith was in Kyle's way when he came off turn 4 in the 78 car. Cost him a little momentum, and Jimmy almost was able to take advantage of it.
But Darrell, we're 50 laps into this run, more or less, and it's about the time that in earlier runs Jimmy Johnson's car would have transitioned and become quicker than Kyle Busch's car.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced that Kyle has the best car. Jimmy Johnson's has a car that I think over the long run could still get up there and take the lead back. Here's what happened to the 18 car. He got hung up behind Regan Smith in the 78 and got a little bobble exiting turn 4, opened the door for Jimmy. But what I'm trying to say is the 48 is so good on the long run that I think he may be able to get him right at the end before they pit again, but I don't know if that's going to work out for him or not.
Here's Denny Hamlin. He's the 6th place car, 4.7 seconds off the lead. What a great month of May he's had so far. And there's our point leader, Kevin Harvick.
And this group started back in the 30th position. They almost went a lap down. We got a caution earlier in the race, and now they've worked their way back in the top 10. One of the reasons this group that they've had the points lead.
Carl Edwards did go a lap down early. He got the free pass on the 2nd caution, got back into contention. He's the 2nd Ford in the race, 3rd overall.
And Mike, you talked about it in the pre-race. His teammate Greg Biffle in the 16 car back there in the 9th. That's 3 Roush Fenway cars in the top 10. We have not seen that a lot in 2010.
Biffle 7.5 seconds off the lead. In 10th place will be Tony Stewart. He is 10 seconds back in his Chevrolet.
Not the kind of run Tony would like to have, but based on his last 6 races, they'd love to come out of here with a top 10 finish. It's been a while.
How about our pole sitter, Darrell?
Not a bad day, you know. I mean, MWR cars are running pretty good today. You got Ruderman running 5th, and certainly sitting here in 11th place for our pole sitter today. Not what he would like to have done, but still not a bad day.
Casey Kane on new tires goes around Truex. Right behind Truex, Joey Logano in 12th.
Now Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, back in the 13th position, started in 15th. We got the report from Chris Devoda that back on the caution at lap 163, they pulled 2 rubbers out of the left rear. Then they put them back in. Steve Letarte told Jeff Gordon, "You've got what you've got now. We can't take the time to adjust on that again."
Ryan Newman, 14th. Seems like Newman's Army car has been skirmishing with just about everybody in the field at one time or another. There's been a little contact here and there. And behind Newman, Mark Martin took advantage of the free pass on the most recent caution at lap 287 to get back on the lead lap.
And I know about 3 or 4 races that I can remember. Mark will be running about 15th. Get a late caution, get a couple of green white checkers, he ends up in the top 5.
Yeah, it's been several races he got that lap down and got the free pass.
A.J. Allmendinger started up front and in 8th spot. Got within a car length of the lead, and then things started to come undone, starting with the loose lug nut on the right rear. Allmendinger's been battling back. They told him to race out of the pits. He's pitted right now near the end of pit road, but somehow he got caught exiting too fast. He's still trying to overcome that. He's in 16th. And the last car in the lead lap with similar problems is Clint Boyer, who dragged the jack out of the pits and is 17th.
When you get back up front, just remember, that 18 car, he never rests. He's wide open all the time. Now that 48 guy, he might be playing a little cat and mouse game like he did at Vegas.
59 laps to go in the Autism Speaks 400, presented by Hershey's Milk and Milkshakes.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is sponsored by Napa. Napa Know-How. By Subway Restaurants, try the newest $5 footlong orchard chicken salad. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. As you have a look at Dover International Speedway from Highway 1. Casey Kane, no speeding penalty there. Fastest lap of the race for the Budweiser Ford. And the biggest mover up 23 spots from where he started the day. That would be our Sprint Cup point leader, Kevin Harvick. 4 more. Go to sprint.com/speed.
Come out the garage. It's broke again.
Yeah, it's broke again. You can see that rear end, how it's moved over to the left there, and he's broken that track bar again.
That is a hard item to try to fix in the garage area during a race. Very hard.
Our leader is Kyle Busch. Jimmy Johnson is right on him for the lead. Kyle won here in 2008, but the last 3 Dover races he's finished last, 23rd, and 31st.
In case you just joined us, back to the 42 car, they broke a track bar mount that holds the rear end in the center of the car. In fact, he and his teammate Jamie McMurray almost broke it within 3 or 4 laps of each other, the same piece on each of their cars.
I can't make up my mind. Obviously, is Jimmy Johnson? Is Jimmy Johnson playing a little game here with Kyle Busch, trying to lull him into a comfort zone that he really doesn't have? Or is Kyle Busch that much better on this run than Jimmy was?
And Darrell, I just believe with what might be a final pit stop coming within about 12 to 15 laps, the outcome of this race could get determined on pit road. But Johnson got a great run off turn 2 going down the back straightaway.
That's why I could never decide. Was Jimmy really trying 100%? Or was he just sitting there following the 18, letting the 18 kind of think he had everything under control?
Very nice work, man. New leader, 48.
You called it, Darrell. Late in the run, Johnson would go back to the lead so that he can come down pit road ahead of Kyle Busch when they make what should be their final stop.
Well, let's assume it was green flag.
Right.
What the 18 can't do is let that 48 gap him very far. Because even though the 18's better on a restart on fresh tires, coming out of the pits even, he won't be able to catch him back in time.
Jimmy Johnson swept the Dover races last year. He started 8th in the spring, started pole in the fall, And of the total 800 laps led, nearly 3/4 of them.